Hey guys, Fellock here with a Race for Wool Cannon special episode. This is direct fire, as you may or may not be able to tell. And if you were watching Tom's Tourney, you would know that I made a special cannon that may or may not have piqued your interest. And if you're watching this for the first time, just wait a few minutes. This wood is from the wooden house back by the green wood, and other than that, you just need all those things I just grabbed from the chest. But you don't really need all of them explicitly, but it just comes in handy if you happen to be running this way. And that's the best way to grab it from the chest, personally, I find, for my playstyle. And you run down here, and this works equally on both sides. You just do the same thing except opposite directions. You build this for convenience. This is in 1.2, but the tourney was all in 1.1, but it works just the same in 1.2. And now you dig down here, and you don't set this trap off, you disable it. Because, and now it's disabled. Setting it off can actually backfire and blow up your area down here that you use to set the cannon off. So never set it off. It's much more detrimental, and you always want to set it off before they do. It does not always blow up this cannon, but in the first round, it actually did. It has a very limited chance, but any chance is worse than what you want. Man, sorry, I'm using a mouse I'm not used to right now, and it's really messing me up. But yeah, you build it like this, and then you're perfectly safe. And from there, you just encase yourself in, and oop, that doesn't really matter. If this was an actual game, you'd obviously want to be a little quicker, but yes, you do that, and then you do this, and then you dig a shelf right here, like so. Man, sorry if this is clicking loudly too. And then you dig this up here for your escape, kind of, I guess you could call it. And you dig back in a few layers here. I don't really have a set number. I just dig back a ways and then over one, and then that's usually enough. And you want to be a little careful with this now, because now it's a deadly weapon. I prefer to call this cannon Bombs Away, and you'll see why in a second. It is actually a 3-part cannon, Bombs Away, and it's really destructive. Really destructive. You might not have heard that through that. And now, as you can see, it's done a fair bit of damage. I'm building this in survival mode, but here, see, now as you can see, it destroyed a lot of their ladders, straight up there. That will go away. Now, it's actually 3 parts, like I said, and what you do is you then build up away. You'd want to build this as you were coming down, of course, to be more effective. And now the most effective way to build it, it is 5 wide. And now this is for your own convenience. You build this wall first. This is the way you want to do it, because when you build like this, you're much harder to shoot, because now that you have this, you're essentially guaranteed to make it. And now this one actually has an extra row over the other one, as you know, as you can notice anyways. And now I don't build these bigger. You can build them bigger. Okay, my game sound is low. It just is really loud to me. But yes, you can build it much larger than this, and it is effective, but the reason why I don't is, one second, let me just finish this. The reason why I don't is that there are actually, there's this chest over here. Oh, good, I can just get up. This chest over here, which has a lot of good things, like sword, which is nice for shoots because you can block as you walk through, and the all the arrows and the torches and the food. It's all very nice. And so you want to try not to blow it up. And if you make this 7 wide, it has a high chance. Oh yes, also another thing you usually would want to do is, as you're making the cannon, sometimes it blows up parts of this, and it's really nice to come over there and collect it before you can. Or if you want, you can collect iron from there. Usually after you blow it up, it's a little harder for them to come get you. Then you set that off, and you get up in here, and you just wait. And it blows them up pretty thoroughly. And as long as you're just careful and build it correctly, anyways. It can be very destructive. In some of the rounds, in fact, I set them off like 12 wide, and those do some damage. And now this last one is just for good measure. You don't really have to do this one as much. I just prefer to do all 3. And this one is actually the same as the first one. a complete duplicate just due to the limit of TNT. Although if you actually have someone get cannon supplies back, you can have them drop them down there and get them and make another large one or an even larger one. Because if you have someone come down and get all of the supplies in that chest, or you don't just care about them, you can just blow them up and no one cares. Well, if you don't care, no one cares. And redstone's very precious on this map to me. Now, this is why I grabbed the wood. You don't really need that much wood, obviously, because you just need a few levers, but I grabbed that much because I actually end up using that much later on, but yes. And so the last cannon, and once again, you get up in here, or you miss, and you get blown up and almost die. Once again, I am not a fan of this mouse. Yes. But then again, I'm derpy like that anyways. And now, after you've thoroughly blown up their side, let's take a look. As you can see, this is now much harder to get through. That is not as bad as it can be. It didn't blow that up. It usually does. As you know, Chaos Cannons vary in damage. That's why I fire 3 too. Because the more you fire, like with any average, the closer towards the average it moves, you know? So, like flipping a coin, the more you flip it, the closer to 50% it gets. But yeah, so you light it up now because if you want to come back down here later and make another cannon, it's just very useful if it's actually lit up. And let's fly over and let's look. See, this is going to be probably gone unless they get down here fast enough. And you can do more because let's say you want to have some fun now and just do some things. Oh yeah, let's look at our damage. This also varies. It does sometimes take out a few ladders on your side, but in this instance, there's like one missing right there. Just well, no, actually, are those like that? I can't compare. Never mind. Yes. So let's have some fun and just do things because hey, why not? Let's see how destructive this can be. Won't be needing that. Let's make it really wide. Where's the center? You always build it on the center of your exit, by the way. That's how you know where to go. 2, 4, and 5. Let's build it 5 from the center. So 2, 3, 4, and 5. Because why not? This is going to be really fun. And since you already know to build the front first if you're going to build it that high, but let's see. Actually, I don't believe I can reach. No, I can't. Let's see. I don't have all of my commands set, so because I had to reinstall for 1.2 and I just did it right before I recorded this, so not everything is set. But 4 high is as high as it can fire with one line of TNT powering it. So if you actually have enough time to make this, your enemy's gonna hate you. This is actually similar to what I made in the round that unfortunately we don't have a good copy of because we had so much time. I blew them up very badly. It came down to we were setting up the cannon and they were asking how much TNT I was using. I'm like, like 4 stacks. And they're like, do you know what it's gonna do? And I was like, nope, but we're about to find out. And it was really fun. I blew up their glass up there really bad. Like it was snowing on their side of the field and all sorts of other fun things. Let's no clip. And let's see what's going on. Let's see how much power this does. There we go. Yeah, see. Now that's fun. Did I hit the glass? No, it didn't fly up and hit the glass. Oh well. And the reason why this cannon is so effective is because, see, it blows up the chest. That's why you don't make it that large. It's so effective because it does very little damage. Like with any kind of chaos cannon that you may be considering making, its cost versus the effect that it does. And in this case, the cost is really low because if you actually do it right, like I demonstrated to begin with, you don't even lose that chest. The only thing you lose is a tiny part of your map, which if you torch up, it's not even lost, really. And you seriously damage theirs. Oh, reach of 32 can wreak some havoc. But yeah, so as you can see, it is really destructive. You can set off multiple cannons. There is redstone all through, especially that tower down there. There's a lot of redstone and TNT. Also, if it really comes down to it and you're low on TNT, these cannons also have enough TNT. Essentially, I like to do the 5 wide, 3 deep, and that's enough right there. That's already, you can already set off 2 cannons just from this. Oh, this is a really old map. That shouldn't be a ladder. But yeah, so as you can see, it's really destructive. It's really easy to set up. It's just as effective as any other cannon I've ever seen. I've never really seen a cannon to destroy chutes like this. And I find it much more effective than setting up cannons up here, because one, unless you do a spread cannon, you have to set up a bunch of individual cannons all along here, and that takes a lot of time. Whereas this, I mean, even when I was messing up, I did it in like a minute, which is way faster than any of this, and it took out the ladders all the way down to here at the time. And in fact, normally it can destroy this really well too. Like I said, it all varies because it's a chaos cannon. So it does just so much damage with so little cost, really, because it's only 2 stacks of TNT. It's just 1 cannon chest. And you even have a little bit of left over, too. So that's all I have today, and I'll see you next time. And until then, stay classy.